Dr. Chrétien's career is very remarkable. As a colleague and mentor, his curiosity and his vast knowledge is very inspiring.
Michel Chrétien was born and grew up in Shawinigan, Quebec.
Pendant les mois d'été, de sorte que on avait des clubs de baseball et de softball qui étaient formés, dont l'un était formé avec plusieurs de ma famille.
Oh, we're very proud of the baby of the family. As you know, he is the last in the family. We were 9 living kids, and he's number 9, and we were classmates. I was sick a year, so he joined me in the same class. And so I've been very close. I followed his career, and he has been extremely successful in a very different field than I.
I moved from Montreal, where I worked with Dr. Jacques Genet, who was my first mentor, then to Harvard, where my mentor was George Cahill. In Berkeley, California, with Chao Li, a famous chemist, I learned about the chemistry of hormones and came up with a new theory of the prohormone, which became very important.
Pendant presque 30 à 40 ans, c'est la même idée qu'il a toujours poursuivie et qui a pu avoir des ramifications très profondes dans le domaine de la recherche.
His principal focus was on the pituitary and pituitary proteins, and particularly one which he had isolated, a unique protein called lipotropin.
I was fortunate to isolate the first time the human beta-endorphin, which has opened up a lot of pharmacological studies.
The morphine that we have in our body as a painkiller. So that was a major significance.
And that was the foundation of many of the subsequent discoveries by the Chrétien team.
So in 1984, I became the scientific director of the RCM. I was able to recruit young scientists, Canadians, Europeans, and Americans, who joined us, 16 of them, during my tenure of 10 years. We went on to prove that the brain, the way it's making endorphin, is also making hundreds and thousands of other molecules of importance.
The mutations that he's identified in the Quebec population are both enhance and reduce the threat of heart disease. And this all came about because of his discovery of one of his proprotein convertases.
PCSK9 is a critical enzyme in regulating cholesterol metabolism.
His work on the science front is opening new frontier for treatment of Alzheimer's disease, for treatment of hypertension, for treatment of cholesterol, of high level of cholesterol.
When I was president of Treasury Board, Minister of Finance, whatever, or Prime Minister, was always writing to me. And so that kept me informed of what's going on and the nature of the problems and so on.
In many ways, Michel Chrétien was the de facto science advisor to the Prime Minister.
Was able to discuss with his brother and convince the government of the day to invest in Canada Research Chair, created 2,000 chairs in the country. That's unique in the world.
He loves to call me or write me memos. And it was, and sometimes he was almost a pain in the neck for me because of that, but it was very useful.
Perhaps as much as $8 to $10 billion of investments were made by the Chrétien government in the support of science.
In 1987, Dr. Chrétien was asked to chair a Canadian study on AIDS that resulted in a broad set of health and social recommendations. And in 2006, he co-founded the International Consortium on Antivirals to accelerate the discovery of medications to address the risk of future pandemics.
Puis ce qui me rend fière, c'est qu'il a été capable d'être directeur de l'Institut de recherche pendant 10 ans et qu'il était aussi présent pour les enfants, pour les petits-enfants. Il était à la maison, peut-être un peu tard le soir, mais il arrivait pour coucher les enfants.
Michel, ton jeune frère te dit félicitations, encore une fois, pour une carrière sensationnelle.
Canadian Medical Hall of Fame laureate, Dr. Michel Chrétien.